The Galactic Council's decision was unanimous. Earth was to be quarantined indefinitely. Ambassador Zeph Tar of the Alterian Consortium delivered the verdict with the cold precision that had made his species the de facto diplomats of the galaxy. The by species known as humans demonstrates unprecedented aggression, unpredictability, and technological recklessness, he announced to the assembled representatives of 47 civilizations. Their planet will be surrounded by a quantum barrier. No ships in, no ships out. The threat they pose to galactic stability cannot be tolerated. Dr. Sarah Chen watched the broadcast from the International Space Station, her knuckles white as she gripped the console. Around her, the multinational crew sat in stunned silence. Below them, Earth continued its eternal dance, unaware that it had just been sentenced to cosmic exile. The barrier materialized within hours, a shimmering wall of energy that extended far beyond Earth's atmosphere, trapping not just the planet, but its moon and the space station itself. When Captain Rodriguez attempted to pilot their emergency shuttle toward the barrier, it simply vanished upon contact, its atoms scattered across dimensions unknown. "They're afraid of us," Chen whispered, and somehow that realization filled her with pride rather than despair. The years that followed tested humanity in ways no external war ever could. Cut off from the vast galactic trade networks, Earth's resources became finite in a way that previous generations had only theorized about. Nations that had spent centuries in conflict suddenly found themselves united by necessity and a shared sense of cosmic injustice. But humans had never been particularly good at accepting limits. Dr. Yuki Tanaka was 28 when she cracked quantum entanglement communication, allowing instantaneous information transfer across any distance. The breakthrough came not from following established galactic protocols, which Earth no longer had access to, but from approaching the problem with the kind of creative desperation that had driven human innovation for millennia. "If they want to keep us isolated," she told the Global Council, "we'll find ways to reach beyond their cage." The quantum communicators allowed Earth to do something the Galactic Council had never anticipated. They began talking to each other across the barrier. More importantly, they began talking to the barrier itself. Marcus Webb was 35 when he discovered that the quantum barrier wasn't just a wall, it was a network. Every communication that passed through it, every probe that dissolved against its surface, left traces, patterns, and patterns, Marcus knew, could be decoded. "It's not just keeping us in," he reported to the increasingly diverse team of scientists working in the converted subway tunnels beneath Geneva. "It's keeping information in. But information wants to be free, and we're very good at helping it escape." The breakthrough came on a Tuesday. Elena Vasquez, working on her third cup of coffee and her 40th consecutive hour of coding, found the key buried in the quantum static. The barrier wasn't impermeable to everything, it was selectively permeable, filtering out anything that matched pre-programmed threat profiles. "They programmed it to recognize human technology," she laughed, giddy with exhaustion and discovery. "But they programmed it 40 years ago, based on what we were then. They have no idea what we've become." What humanity had become was something unprecedented in galactic history. A species that treated impossible as merely a starting point for negotiation. The first probe to successfully pass through the barrier was disguised as cosmic radiation, its human origins buried beneath layers of quantum camouflage that would have impressed the galaxy's most sophisticated espionage networks. It carried a simple message, broadcasted on frequencies that the Council monitored but didn't expect to hear human voices on. "This is Earth. We've been listening." Ambassador Zeftar received the transmission during a routine council session, nearly choking on his ceremonial water as the impossible words echoed through the chamber. "That's not possible," sputtered Chancellor Vorix of the hegemony. "The barrier is absolute. Our quantum physicists assured us." "Your quantum physicists," the voice continued, now clearly coming from multiple sources as more camouflaged probes established contact, underestimated the power of spite as a motivational force. The revelation that followed shook the foundations of galactic civilization. Humanity hadn't just found a way to communicate through the barrier, they had turned it into the galaxy's most powerful listening post. For 40 years they had been intercepting, decoding, and analyzing every piece of information that passed through the galactic communication networks. They knew about the Zephyrian food crisis before the Zephyrian government did. They had detailed intelligence on the trade disputes between the Altarian Consortium and the Crystalline Republic. They possessed complete technical specifications for technology that the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy considered classified beyond classification. "You locked us up and threw away the key." Dr. Chen's voice, now aged but no less determined, spoke into the shocked silence of the council chamber. "But you forgot something important about humans. We don't just break out of prisons. We redecorate them." The quantum barrier that had been designed to contain Earth had become Earth's window into the galaxy. Every attempt to strengthen it had only given humanity more exotic physics to study and reverse engineer. Every communication that passed through it had been copied, analyzed, and filed away in databases that now contained 40 years of galactic intelligence. "We've been preparing," Chen continued. "Learning. Growing. You wanted to protect the galaxy. From humanity? Congratulations. You've given us 4 decades to study everything you fear we might do, and then figure out how to do it better." The vote to lower the barrier was unanimous, though this time the unanimity was born of fear rather than certainty. As the quantum walls dissolved, the first human ships to enter galactic space in 40 years were marvels of hybrid technology. Part human innovation, part reverse-engineered alien science, and entirely beyond anything the galaxy had seen before. But it wasn't the technology that terrified the galactic powers. It was the message painted across the hull of the lead vessel in letters visible from orbit. "Thank you for the motivation." Humanity had been rejected by the universe. In response, they had built their own universe, and now they were ready to share it with their neighbors, whether those neighbors wanted it or not. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you gave humans a problem they couldn't solve. They changed the rules until it wasn't a problem anymore. The Council's greatest fear had been that humanity would spread chaos through the stars. They were right, of course. They just hadn't realized that sometimes chaos was exactly what a stagnant galaxy needed. Ambassador Zeftar watched the human fleet emerge from Earth's gravity well and wondered if perhaps the real threat had never been humanity itself, but the galaxy's own inability to imagine what they might become when properly motivated. He was about to find out.